Coming up on the Relationship Reset podcast, we stopped worrying who was going to plan date night, who was going to be the initiator. We only worried about having a good time. I think we don't have enough grace for our partners being in their own worlds and understanding that not everybody is a planner, not everybody is going to be as creative and things of that nature. Hola amigos, it's Karina, your relationship BFF, and welcome to the Relationship Reset podcast. This is the space where we press pause, tell the truth, and start doing the work to heal what's broken, especially after your partner has stepped out on you. Whether that means cheating, hiding things, or even breaking your trust, every single week I will help you work through the real issues so that you can stop spiraling, get clear on what's next, and finally feel like yourself again in this relationship. And speaking of healing, let me tell you about something that was a total game changer for my own marriage. When I think back to the early years of my marriage, my husband and I were arguing constantly and barely connecting. We needed something radically different for our marriage, and for us, that was therapy. Therapy was the game changer. It helped us uncover that most of our issues had actually nothing to do with each other, but more so with our own unhealed traumas that we hadn't processed. That's why I love BetterHelp. It's the world's largest online therapy service with over 25,000 licensed therapists. You can connect with someone via text, chat, phone, or video, whatever works for you. Plus, if the first therapist isn't the right fit, you can always switch to another one at no extra cost. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Karina F as in Frank Daves. The link is in my show notes. And amigos, don't wait. Support could be the game changer for your relationship too. And now on the Relationship Reset podcast. Amigos, welcome back to the Relationship Reset with me, your host, Karina F. Daves, marriage expert, speaker, and podcast host of this dope podcast. This episode is going to be called 5 Things We Did in 2024 That Changed the Game for Our Marriage. And this is actually a spinoff of, or an extension of, a post that I did earlier this year that really talked about what we did as a married couple that really changed the dynamic, changed communication, just changed a lot for our marriage. And one of the things, if you've been following me for a long time, is that I've been talking about marriage since 2021 or maybe the end of 2020. But what I'll say is that most of the things that I share are testimonies, meaning that they've already happened. The lesson has already been learned. And so plenty of times, the deeper things that we're going through or testing and trying out won't be shared till it becomes a testimony. And that's out of the privacy of my own marriage, and also because I want to make sure that my husband is okay with, right? Which is why, if you've also been following me for a long time, in the beginning, many of the things that were shared were mainly me as the wife, and I believe really continue to be as well. So let's dive right in. These are 5. Listen, I think that they were simple. Some cost us some money, but I think that they were simple once you both became on the same page. So the first one is that we stopped limiting intimacy to the bedroom. And I know what you're thinking. Like, Karina, I don't understand. Like, that's disgusting. We're literally going, to do all these things all over the house. Yeah. Because you pay for every square footage of it when you pay your rent or your mortgage, right? And part of that thrill, that newness, that thrill is what you're missing right now in your marriage. And being intimate outside of the bedroom is going to give you that thrill, right? So, like, I don't know, I'm making places up in the laundry room, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. I don't know, right? But there are so many different ways to be intimate. And I'm talking about sexual intercourse, that you can do these things outside of the bedroom, right? I mean, how many of us have, especially when you're first dating your partner, that thrill of like, oh, making out in the car, or, I don't know, doing something just out of bounds. And it takes 2 seconds to decide together that we're not going to do it in the bedroom this evening or this morning. Does that make sense? That helped us so much bring back that thrill that many marriages are missing. Number two, we hired support. So Terrence and I have actually been through six nannies at this point, and I know it seems like a lot, and it is. And I'll just say that the people that it affected the most was our kids. Initially, we just needed somebody to help us take our kids to school. And really quickly, that role turned into we need somebody to just also get them ready in the morning. Or actually, then it became breakfast. And then we're like, we actually need somebody to get them ready, make breakfast, and take them to school. And so we went through about six different nannies, and some of them didn't work out for the mere fact that they either ghosted us or that it just no longer was a fit, right? Getting to her house at 6 a.m. isn't for everybody, and that was the need that we had. And this year, by the grace of God, we finally found our nanny that's been with us for over a year now. And it's interesting because I think in my mind, I always thought that our support needed to be somebody that didn't have a family, but everybody up to this point didn't have a family. They were mainly, on bit on I would say the younger side, wasn't really married or established, but more so just finishing up college or things of that nature. And looking back now, I would hire somebody that it has been more established, has a family, and really understands children dynamics. And so that was very hard for us because you need to trust a lot. And so Terrence and I spent a significant amount of time watching our nanny. And what's interesting is we're actually in the process of installing more surveillance in our home just to help to ease some of that. But originally, we just wanted her to take the kids to school, and then we started trusting her more with cooking, and then we trusted her more with, getting them ready in the morning, and that took some time, right? That did not happen on the first day, especially because they're not babies, they're kids that can talk. But this allowed us to have the liberty of being able to take back our morning routine, like to just get ourselves ready, to just have an extra hand. And now our nanny also went from mainly taking care of the children. She also comes twice a week in the evenings to assist us with dinner, to start dinner. And that helps so much because she's here for 2.5 hours. And in those 2.5 hours, not only does she make dinner, and sometimes I cheat and I'll just start dinner and she'll just finish it. But she'll put in a load of laundry. She'll fold some clothes. She'll vacuum. The other day, she didn't have anything to do because dinner was done and it was easy. So she cleaned the top of the cabinets in the kitchen. Like things like that, I'm not even thinking about. So she eased a lot of that. Number three, and this is a big one for many people, we stopped worrying who was going to plan date night, who was going to be the initiator. We only worried about having a good time. I think we don't have enough grace for our partners being in their own worlds and understanding that not everybody is a planner, not everybody is going to be as creative and things of that nature. But I think the difference is that if you invite your partner and you plan everything and they still don't have a good time or they don't want to go or they complain, then we have a problem. But for us, it was less about that and more about we had spent such a significant amount of time saying like, no, you plan it, no, you plan it, that you plan it. That in 2024, we were kind of like, who cares? Who cares who plans it? As long as we go out and do something. And in 2024, it's very interesting because I would say that it was 60% me planning it and the 40% was him planning it. And a lot of that was because I got invited to a lot of things. And so I would say, honey, let's go, right? But not caring who plans date nights, but just caring that you guys want to have a good time and you want to enjoy company. Like I remember when we got married, my husband said to me, just so you know, I am down for whatever. He didn't say like, I'm going to plan whatever or everything. He said, I am down for whatever. And this year, after, 13 years, it hit me like this guy literally said he's down for whatever. And here I am complaining that he's, that he's not the one planning the date night. So that really alleviated a lot of tension for us. Hola, amigos. Let's get real for a second. If you're tired of walking on eggshells, tired of feeling like you're doing all of the work in this relationship, or even sick of wondering if your relationship can even survive what happened, it's time to stop spiraling and start healing. In my private one-on-one coaching program, we're not going to sugarcoat. We get deep. I help you break toxic cycles, call out the patterns that keep remaining y'all both stuck, and finally shift the energy in your relationship, but for real this time. So whether you're coming in solo or as a couple, I want you to know that the work starts with you. Hit the link in the show notes to book your consultation call. If you're ready to stop replaying the betrayal and start rewriting the story, then I'm the coach for you. I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to work with you. Now, let's get back to the episode. The fourth thing, I think, as you can tell, I'm a very social person, which means I like hosting. And the fourth thing we needed to let go was hosting. So we were very big into huge birthday celebrations, having everybody over all the time. If my kid's tooth fell out, if somebody got a promotion, like we were just very big on like, everybody come over. And it became taxing. I mean, we were hosting probably anywhere between 6 to 10 barbecues in the summer, which each are probably around $1,200 to $1,500. I mean, we're not just doing hot dogs and burgers, we're doing steaks, there's alcohol. And even though you tell people, yeah, bring whatever you want, or you bring this or you bring that, you're still the host. You have to have something. So we stopped hosting as much as we have this year in 2024, and we started doing celebratory dinners. So everybody's birthday was acknowledged, but with a dinner, not a huge birthday party. And man, that not only helped our energies, but it helped our pockets. And I think that plenty of us think that memories always have to come in form of a big celebration or a big party, but so many memories come from just a dinner where, I remember my mom and dad took me out to dinner, and, I got to choose the restaurant, and they were hugging me, and we played Uno at the dinner table, and it was just us four and intimate. And especially coming from a Hispanic background, like we're just used to partying for everything. Well, I'll just say my family is. And so I think I just came from a place of like, you go big or you go home. And this year, I really had to scale a lot of that mentality back and realize how much of that hosting was really depleting our marriage. The last thing that we did in 2024 that changed our marriage was we became aligned on parenting. We really got to the point in our parenting where our kids were really testing us to see who they could get on their side. And regardless if that was going on, if they were doing some shady business, like we at first didn't really respond well to it. And we would communicate in front of the kids of what to do as opposed to what we do now, which is like we say, give us a minute, Daddy and I will talk about it later, or we'll get right back to you. But I think that there were a couple instances in 2023 where my husband felt like, and I also had some of those where we both felt like, we were stepping on each other's toes, and the kids felt like they could get one over on us. And so for us, we had to remember like, yo, we were here first, like for real. So we started to become more aligned on parenting. And the two things that we did was, one, we valued never discussing what we were going to do about the kids in front of the kids. And two, never interrupting whatever parenting the initial parent that's handling the situation was implementing. Now, I'll give you an example that literally just happened where my husband was talking to my son about something that he did that he wasn't supposed to do. And my son was whining about it. And he was talking to him about how, like, you're going to have to transition from whining to learning how to regulate yourself. And he's like, I'm not trying to like shut down your feelings, but you're going to have to learn how like you're not 5 anymore. You're going to be 11. And so he walked away from that conversation. And then like with my lips, I was like, say, I love you. Say, I love you. And he was like, what? And I was like, say, I love you. And he's like, oh yeah. So he went back and was like, I just want to let you know I love you. And they hugged. And so you see, like, I didn't scream like, tell him you love
him, or like, you need to say you love him, because that emasculates him and emasculates his role as a dad. So those are quick 5 things that I shared that we did in 2024 that really changed the game for our marriage. I'm actually curious to hear one thing that y'all did in your marriage that really changed the game. You can email it to me at team@karinafdaves.com, or you can send me a DM, whatever works for you. I'm with it. I really, really enjoyed just sharing a little bit more about the intricacies and sort of like our living testimonies. And these top 5 things, I have them on this post-it, like this is my script. These top 5 things I wouldn't share with you if they really didn't change my marriage. But they did. And I think one of the things that you're here that you're gonna hear in 2026 is how we argue differently. It's so interesting being married for this long. But anyways, let me pray for you. Father God, I thank you so much for this day. I thank you so much for your love. And I'm so sorry for not praying before this episode. But I ask that your hand be over it. And I ask that this be received by the homes and hearts that really need it, Father God. I think that change is something that many of us tend to not want to do, but don't realize how much your hand is over that change and how much of that is being initiated by you, how many lessons we can learn through that change, and how we must embrace change in order to do the very thing that you want us to do, which is to grow closer to you. I thank you so much for your word, and I love you. Amen. Okay. Well, if you've enjoyed listening to this episode, make sure you like it, save it, share it with all of your amigos. And I thank you once again for joining me on the Relationship Reset podcast. All right. Love you so much. Bye. If this episode made you pause, take a deep breath, or say, dang, she's talking about us, then good. That means that we're getting somewhere. You see, this podcast is here to help you stop avoiding the hard stuff and actually start healing. So if you're ready for more real talk, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at my handle, Karina F as in Frank Daves. And please make sure that you're also subscribed to my newsletter, Release Your Relationship, at karinafdaves.com. Every single week, I will drop straight to the heart tools and truths to help you face what's not working in your relationship so you can finally do something about it. If this episode resonated with you, please feel free to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, hit the subscribe button, and share it with all of your amigos. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, one day at a time. I'll see you next week.